97.7 The Q and 98 Gold. We welcome into the program Dr. Nicki Monty for Therapy Thursdays. Good morning, Dr. Nicki. How are you?
Good morning. I am. I'm rocking and rolling over here in overcast California. No, I'm
Listen,
great. I'm great. I'm just busy as a little beaver trying to get all the stuff done for the book.
yes. No, so when is the official release of the book? October?
I'll be able to tell you next week. We are deciding
Gotcha.
that tomorrow.
Okay.
But
All right.
it's October, but their pre-sales will be happening at sometime in August.
All right.
Soon, I guess.
All right.
And when you say pre-sale, where will it be available?
Well, and I'll tell you all about that. But it's Amazon, Barnes and Noble is the hard book. It's soft cover book, and for the Audible, I think it's on Audible.
Yeah, which is owned by
all of that. I will tell you. There's two
Yeah.
places it is Amazon is the main holder of all of it. You can get it all on Amazon.
Gotcha.
But you can order it. I know.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
of course, you get to peek behind the curtain sooner than that, so we'll be able to talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
For sure. And I think it'll be interesting because we'll probably spend a couple of weeks on it, because I know you and I did this at one time with Stuck No More. We'll probably spend a couple of weeks going like through the different chapters to kind of give people an idea of where we're going, kind of the story.
Yeah, we can't be, because it's interesting. I'm looking at what am I going to read at the book launch or at the bookstores and all kinds of things like that. Because it's a lot of stories and some of the stories are longer than others, but to find the slice of story that is going to tell the story, so to speak, but not give away too much it's a little tricky. So but the journey is I think you're gonna really love it. I love it.
Well, I was like shook last time and didn't want to stop. Like that's what I'm finding with this is like I would love it if the show just, our radio thing just kept going with you because there's never a proper stopping point for me. I'm like, darn, I gotta wait 7 days. So I know we were talking about emotional dysmorphia.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, what a concept. Like that's like brilliant because I've heard of body dysmorphia.
Right. Which is
a very big deal when I was younger. Yeah.
Yeah. What I was riffing off of. And I've not run across the phrase, which makes me excited, probably somewhere, all ideas are really low hanging fruit.
Right.
That's the truth of it. We just put them in different,
but that struck me big that
and I've never heard it anywhere before. So I like to think I made it up. So we know that body dysmorphia is you look at your body and you, everybody says, oh, you're so slender. People say to me all the time, gosh, you're so teeny. I'm like, not so really. I don't know what body you're looking at. Or Tom will be watching somebody and I go, so I'm a lot bigger than her, right? And he says, I don't know what you're talking about. You're like half her size.
We run into that too. Like because we talk and Cheryl will say something like that. And it's not the typical, like, do I look fat in these jeans? Like,
no,
we'll just say like, so because we'll be talking about size and weight and things like that. And she's like, okay, well, I'm definitely bigger than her. And I'm like, no, I don't know how you see it. Like,
how are you seeing it?
There's times that Cheryl will say to me, wow, would I kill for that body? And I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, what
and you always say this thing to me. I wish you could see yourself the way others see you.
Oh yeah.
And that to me is emotional dysmorphia. It's literally I can't see it
Well, yes,
way
that's body dysmorphia. You're looking at it and you can't see it because you're looking through the eyes of emotional dysmorphia,
right.
right? You're looking through these opinions you have of yourself,
Yeah.
long-standing stories and misunderstandings based on your self-doubt or however far we want to go with that
Experiences, whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
experience.
how do you know how do you do that to yourself? I mean, how do you
How do you fix that? Yeah.
fix that?
Well, I don't know. Have I ever talked to you about my spatial challenges? I have spatial challenges, right?
No.
So I'm just pretty much a terrible driver across the board. I mean, the great thing is I'm chauffeured around a lot
Okay.
because nobody wants me to drive ever because I have spatial issues. I can't. If a car is if you say to me, "Oh, that car is 4 lengths ahead of you," I see it as 2 lengths ahead. So that's fine because my car talks to me now. It beeps when I'm too close. It tells me, like
Mhm.
you're a million, whatever it does. But if we're driving and the guy in the lane next to me swerves towards me, I'm going to hit something on this side because I'm sure they're just about to hit me, even though they could be this far away when they swerve. So what I do with at least the straight ahead thing is I know in my mind that if the car looks 2 lengths away to me, it's 4 lengths. If it looks 1 length, it's 2 or 2.5 lengths, you know. So I adjust my mind to say that's an illusion. It's an illusion. You actually have plenty of space. So now when I look at my body, first of all, I look at my body naked every day. I don't avoid it, which most people do when they don't like their bodies or they have opinions about it's too much this or too little that or whatever it is. I look at it every day and I talk to my body with respect. Whatever my eyes see, I go, oh, that's pretty good. Oh, I love the way the arm is starting to look with the lifts. It's coming along there. Gosh, I like it. I like my body better today than I ever have in my entire life. And
Good for you.
let me say this delicately: it is not a young body.
Right, I was starting to think like, what I would say. I really love
No,
looking like the Pillsbury Dough girl.
Oh my
I
no,
really
goodness.
you
love
didn't say that because you're
I
not going to
always
be
wanted to look like the Michelin woman.
See,
sure.
that's what
You're
you're
not
saying.
going to be
Don't do that.
snarky. You're going to you start with finding, this is just the body piece, right? You start with finding something on your body that you like. I don't care if it's your eyes or, by the face is part of the body, right? So, oh, I love the way I've done these tattoos. What a good choice that was. I'm glad I made that choice because they're lasting forever here. And oh, great. Oh, my shoulders are fantastic. You start with what you do already like. There has to be some things you like. There has to
My right pinky toe is just got
Right, but see,
all
this
the
is what
I'm gonna
she's saying.
slap
Don't do
you.
that.
sexy in it.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah,
I'm gonna slap you.
right.
You have a
Don't do that.
person.
Yeah.
I can't see your body really. I can see that you're slender. I maybe that turns into hips of King Kong at the bottom. I don't know, but your face is a lovely oval shape, which is I like an oval. I have an oval.
Mhm.
We like oval, and you've made some very specific choices in terms of tats and what you think that represents to you. Perhaps you can admire that for yourself. And there has to be things on your body that you like. This is you're
And what
just
you're saying is that it's important how we view ourselves.
yeah, and it's important. Remember, perception is everything. All healing is a matter of perception. So let's go to the emotional dysmorphia and how that came up for me as I was writing the book is. Um, I was looking at how much self-contempt I had over the decades, starting as a kid. never feeling like I fit in, never feel, but I was always kind of the center of everything. I was always the mother surrogate in my boarding schools. I went to boarding school for 11 years. And I was always the surrogate, and I was always the person everyone turned to with their problems. This is not a new experience. Becoming a therapist was obvious, except I didn't know it. I was, I had many other careers before that until it happened. And then I went, oh, aha, that. Um, so, so I'm writing this, and two things happened. One, I realized how many big gaps I had along the way. So that's one thing. So I had emotional blackouts. So I had a couple of drug or alcohol induced blackouts. I didn't black out a lot, but when I did, it was pretty powerful. But
Now,
I
what
had
can I just ask you, what when you say blackout, does that mean not remember for a period of time?
yes, not
Like a
remember for a
long
period.
period of time, like an
Well,
hour, or is it
for instance, I was in an apartment with friends to make a phone call. Give you this is one. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but my then husband, my second husband, was brutal, violent, and he was very abusive, and um, so. Uh, I'm trying to do this in a short way. Okay.
Yeah.
So
You're okay.
anyway, I was in my apartment. I had to make a phone call. I was trying to call. I don't know who I was going to call. If I was going to call him at the bar again, or if I was going to call, somebody else. But I went up to my friend's house and asked her apartment and asked if I could use their phone. And they said sure. And that's the last thing I remember until I woke up standing beside my mother in a hospital. Check out, check out. I
Oof.
had OD'd, and I remember nothing. I remember not how I got there. I assumed my friends called my mother, and I didn't remember anything about the hospital. Apparently, they didn't need to pump my stomach. I threw up everything, and I was with my mother, and I was wearing the same thing I had been wearing in my apartment, which was a see-through nightie and a trench coat. Luckily, the trench coat was now closed. Apparently, the rest of the time it had been open. And so I remember nothing in between. But I also have a lot of emotional blackouts. So when I was writing my stories, I have what I call film at 11. And this is a function of something that's called dissociation. Right. So dissociation is where we're in a situation, our body is there, like we're here. But if I remembered nothing about this conversation, my body is here, but I have left the building. My mind has left the building. People do this a lot, like, for instance, during sex, where they're watching themselves. They're not really in the experience, they're watching themselves in the experience. And we do it in a lot of places where we're not really present. Dissociation is very common. But this was aggressive, where I couldn't. I was in some amazing scene, dramatic and traumatic scene, and I could not remember how I got there, and I could not remember how I got out. Now, if you go and you write some experience you had, see how much you know about what happened right before and what happened right after. There's a lot usually that's missing. We remember these moments, right? Or these hours that are particular. But who remembers every minute? Unless you have an eidetic memory, who remembers every minute of their life?
right?
Right.
So, but this is extreme, where I am missing a lot of pieces of my life. And it's not that I don't know where I was, generally speaking, and so there was the book is completely truthful. It's completely truthful. And my new favorite line that I wrote the other day was, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll cringe.
I like it.
I have a new social media person. She's so adorable. And she said, yeah, I was going, don't go into the sauna. Don't go into the sauna. Like you say, like, in Silence of the Lambs, every time I've seen that film a billion times, every time I go, don't get into the truck. Don't get into the
Right.
don't get into the van. Don't go downstairs. What are you doing? What are you going
Right.
Right.
And there's a lot of that in the book where you go, no, don't. No, don't do that. Don't do that, Nicki.
Oh my. That's funny.
But anyway, part of this, I'm getting off track, obviously.
Well, you've healed so much that it's, for me, I'm encouraged just by the fact that I'm mortified and scared for you and want to hug you long distance for whatever happened then. Cause I'm like, okay, like I'd be beating my own head against the concrete to remember you were there. Remember. And now I'm watching you laugh, cringe, like, and giggle about it. And so there has to be a huge amount of healing that went on.
Huge amount of healing. And, you know, the stories you see the healing, and there's a lot. But the, in terms of the emotional blackouts, if you think about it, you will find that you know what I'm talking about, where there are just things you cannot, like, very often I'll have conversations with clients and they'll have worked themselves up to be, because I'm always trying to help people to find a better voice, you know, their best voice, their best way of saying things, their best way of communicating. And they'll have worked themselves up to say that thing, you know, Mom, that really hurt me when you did that. And when you said that to me, I was really hurt. And then I'll say, what did she say? And the person will go,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. Which is why I always say to people, repeat what you hear. And then it'll stick with you better. Repeat what you hear. And because we are, in that case, for instance, we're so excited, it's taken us so much to work up to that, that we're just not listening to what they say.
Right. We're just so glad that we got it out.
So glad we got it out.
I got it out. I got out that thing that I've been worried about for 6 weeks or whatever. I got it out.
But that goes for everything. I'm thinking about, like, when we won the IBAs, we can't remember. You can't remember getting the award. I remember them calling the name.
Exactly.
And that's it. Then I'm like, okay, please don't trip on the way up the stairs or down the stairs. Whatever you do, don't trip over your skirt. That's about it.
Yeah.
Right. So what happens is, in that case, it's a wonderful example. You move into self-consciousness. So like, oh, what are they? I don't do I have my speech. Oh, what are they going to think? Is this dress okay? Whatever you do, right? You move into self-consciousness. And when you move into self-consciousness that way, you leave self-consciousness. So that's where you're present in your own body.
Interesting.
So what's always great is that big, wonderful breath that takes us back into our own body so we can be present. And if you need to do things like, I am putting my right foot out and down on the floor. I'm putting my left foot out and down on the floor. At least you're being grounded and present.
So what do we do? So what do we do to remind us in that moment that that's what we have to do? Like, how do you work on that so that you are present in the thing?
The best way is, of course, the the way nobody wants to do, which is to practice every day. So the breath meditation that I send out, and people just have to ask me and I send it to them, is, and I think the breath meditation is available on my Stuck No More
website.
Yeah, my Stuck No More website. I think I'll double check, but I think it is. And it's 7 minutes. Come on. Anybody has 7 minutes. You tell me you don't, but I guarantee you do. And you just breathe and you practice being down in the center of your body. To be in your body means to be here and to be all the way in. And then you practice the whatever your phrase is. As I've mentioned to you before, my phrase is here am I. Here am I. And I just let that follow the breath down into my body. I take it in my nose. I leave my mouth open so I don't have to do any extra work. And as it's coming out, though, I picture it going down into my body. And here am I. And you do that enough. I like an image at the heart center in this fourth chakra. I like an image a lot for people is a little flicker of light, like when you first light a candle and then let the light grow, or for some, a camera lens or an opening flower or whatever your deal is, so that you have this feeling. So if you practice every day, then when you're going up to get the award, you remember that light and it takes care of you. It keeps you in the center of yourself. You know, it's funny to go back for a second. Cheryl, you were saying, I really am. I've changed my relationship to my story. I have a new story. I am not in my old story anymore. And yet, even when I was in my old story, you wouldn't have been able to tell by looking, because I always had a great mask. Now I don't have a mask. This is it. This is who I truly, truly am. However, I never knew. It always felt to me that everyone could see my whole story all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
They could see all the damage. They could see all the bad decisions or the, challenged decisions. They could see those, trips down dark alleys that I took over and over again. But they couldn't. They could never see it.
So, okay. So where is all the pain? Not that I wish that on you, but you
No, I
just
know.
went, you were able to go, haha,
I-
laugh, cringe, whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, I couldn't. First, I thought to myself, I wanted to hug you because I knew how much work you had to have done to be able to laugh and use the word abuser in the same proximity. Like that,
Yes.
people have to fight their way back from that. So I was like,
Well,
whoa.
Yeah.
But I don't. So what happens now when you talk about that? Like where
It
are you?
depends on what I'm talking about. But for the most part, what I find is the great healer. Again, all healing is a matter of perspective. My perspective has been for a long time now, and it takes some sincere effort to get to this place. My perspective is there are no other people. Where am I in this picture? What healed me in that from that, or within or after that circumstance of this particular husband, and there was a lot that went on in the 11 months I was with him, but was realizing that he was a reflection of a self-abusive part of me. And I took total responsibility for that. I saw how he was my mirror. And as I say, and I say this in the book, and I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, I realize that he hit me in all the places I had not yet been able to beat myself. The important
So are
part
you
is
saying then
beating
he served a
myself.
function as because normally we say, okay, bad. If we're going to label all that, it's bad. But really, then it's not all bad. Now it was dangerous, right? But it
Not about
awakened.
bad or good. It's about who's responsible. Like that doesn't make him a better person,
Right.
if he's still
Right.
alive. I always assume someone
Yeah.
killed him. by now.
Yeah.
But if he's who he is, he's responsible for his choices too.
Mhm.
But I'm responsible for mine. And I've worked with women, by the way, who say, "Yeah, my husband beats me." Oh, How long's that been going on? 20 years. So at what point do you make a decision? Is it after the first hit, after the fifth hit, after the 50th hit? At what point do you say, "Whoa, what is this choice I'm making?" Well, I can't because of the children. Wait a minute, this was going on before the children. Well, I can't because of, yeah, but what? And if we don't look at our own self-contempt, self-loathing, desperation to be proved right about our feelings of not enoughness or unlovability, we will find those people to help us.
Okay, so I'm gonna need so much more. I know we've got a break, and I hate when we have to stop, but I hate it. I can't even let you go. I don't even care.
Right.
Like, but I'm gonna need to know how it didn't kill you. That's, I think, for me, I think I have a lot of that, but I think I'm deathly afraid I will die. If I face it, I'm going to die.
Yeah, that's
It will
that's
kill
the
me. It
story
will.
you're telling yourself.
Yes.
That's so for me, most people have already lived the hardest part of their life called their childhood, where they had no power whatsoever, and but also if you would die, you would die. You will have already died. When I said to my husband, I'm leaving, he said, "I'll kill you if you go." I said, "I'd rather be dead." And I left because I would rather be dead, because I was dead in that relationship. You say, so this physical death business, and you will die, is a thought. It's not a truth. Where is the evidence of that? Where is the evidence of that? You've had heartbreak.
Right.
You've
Well,
come back.
and what you're saying is you're talking about facing things from your past. You already lived through them.
Yes.
So facing them isn't going to kill you. You already lived through them.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right. But
living
what
through
could
them
kill
and
you is not facing them, because then you're destined to repeat on some level what has happened before. If we don't take full responsibility for the way we perceive the world and ourselves in the world, we are destined to keep slogging through life. We may look fine, but we're going to be empty. We may look fine, we get money, property, prestige, it doesn't matter. I have billionaires sitting on my couch. It doesn't matter.
Do you know what Dr. Nicki, you remind me, and you should steal Emerald's. Do you remember when Emerald came, the cook, Lagasse came on thing, and his big thing was bam? That's what I feel like. That's not his anymore. From this point on, you're going to steal that, right? Okay, so it's just going to be bam.
You'll be my bammer.
Bam.
Yeah.
Your bam.
Well, I mean that's so much of what this is, the therapy and looking at yourself. There's so many times that the light bulb just goes off. It's for everybody. You don't know when that light bulb is going to go off. That all of a sudden, I mean that's a lot of what I experienced with Dr. Nicki is that she's able to, she knows, or where to put the light for us to see it. And go, oh, I didn't see that. I've been in the dark the whole time. Been in the dark over there the whole time. So we always appreciate our time with you. So many things going on. If you want to find out more about Dr. Nicki, go to the website stucknomore.com.